back out here at the bait room. Wait till we get some people going on here. Wait till we get a couple people up on here. One second. I'll get this thing started here. Oh man. Never get the lid off of these Iwata paints, man. Japanese paints are so tough. Oh, there we go. Just want to get all the stuff ready to go so I'm not messing with that as I'm painting. Jeez. That's the only problem with this stuff. If you're looking for some really vibrant colors for airbrushing, Japanese paints, the Iwata colors, excuse me, Tamiya color. Iwata is the airbrush brand. The Tamiya color paints, good stuff. If you need to get airbrush paints, you go on spraygunner.com to get your paint. So anyway, our ambassadors out here in the bait room started painting some baits and a bunch of other stuff going on out here. Got a bunch of baits that are weighted and ready to be cut out. I usually build 3 at a time. A lot of these baits are very, very similar, but they'll be different style baits. They'll either have a lip or they won't have a lip. They'll either be a 2-piece or a 3-piece, sometimes a 1-piece. Depends on what it is. So like with my patterns here, just old bigger things. Make my little patterns. I trace these on the wood. Got my little cuts in there so I know where my connectors go, eye holes, all that stuff. I got it for all my weights. Got it all like that. And then these guys, patterns. Oops, that's the mini. It's all the same thing. It's all the same pattern. It's all the same thing. They're all the same. So the minis. So I got like 2 or 3 different sizes of each one of these patterns that makes a different bait. These baits are these baits. I just had you. Not this guy. There are also these baits. And these ones. And my 3 pieces. It's all the same thing. It's just this one's wide. These ones are skinny. It's all the same exact shape. Keeps it simple, keeps it easy. And then I got a new one that I've been doing, which are the birds, walking baits. And then I made several different ones of these, but they're all the same shape. bird, trout, gill, and those guys, and these guys. And we got that same, I just cut it different. Instead of a 2-piece or a 3-piece, it's just got that knocker on there because that one's awake. With those jitter lips, man, those things are freaking crazy in the water. And then like this one, it's the same thing, but it's just flipped upside down. That's the way it's supposed to be. And I decided to do it that way, put a smaller little lip on it. That's like a one-off, one of a kind, mini. You know what I mean? You can put wings on them. You can do a short, fat skateboard on it. Same thing, but way bigger. It's all the same patterns. And then the big trouts, same thing. Just stretch the pattern out on the internet or on the computer. And just did that on paint program. Stretched out the pattern, just kept the same thing, just enlarged it basically. Traced it, drew it out. I got blanks everywhere. I got baits going on. These guys all got to go out and get painted with the base coat today. We got all these guys going also. These all got to get sanded next step. So that's a whole nother box of stuff that's ready to go. These guys will get cut out. So when I pull the saw out to cut, because I can't cut in here, I cut outside. When I pull the saw out to cut those guys in half after I sand them, I'll cut them in half and then remark the centers and all that stuff, get those guys going. And while I have the saw out, I will cut out all of these blanks. All of these are already weighted. Yeah, it's all just the same patterns, man. If you're going to start making wood baits, make some patterns and stuff. Now, like I was saying, I would love to go to doing some resin stuff, but I don't know what I'm doing with it. Maybe in the future I'll learn how to do some resin baits. Anyway, so let's get back to what we were doing here. I took all these baits in the house, kicked up the heater, and put these guys in front of the heater. Paint is nice and dry. Now I can go to the next step. I'm going to throw some sepia on these baits. Excuse me. Some sepia. Stuff is the weirdest smelling paint. If you ever use sepia, man, it's a very good blending color, but that stuff has a weird smell to it. Let's scoop this way just a little more. We got a little more white going on. Already used all those colors. These are all coming down the line. Those two are the last. I always like to have everything set up and ready to go, so I can just grab it as I go, not just doing this. But so we took this off and we put the other type of mesh on, the Doris fabric as they call it, as opposed to the scaly looking stuff. Keep these. Got this one. So now next step is to put some other colors on there. What's that, man? Sepia. It's weird smelling stuff. Mix it there. This stuff's been sitting out here for a minute. I should have did this before I turned the camera on. If it looks a little gray, it's not mixed up enough. There we go. And I'll just clog my brush. I forgot to grab my glasses. I can't see anything. I gotta run and grab my glasses. Getting blind in my old age. Okay, got my glasses. Now I can see. Sepia is a very weird color, man. I think I let this stuff sit too long. Oh yeah, it's all gunked up. Dang. Hope this whole thing didn't go bad. No, it sucked. I've had it happen before where a whole jar of paint's gone bad from sitting too long. Yeah, this is all jacked up. That's not good. Sorry, guys. Yeesh. Yeah, that don't look good. Alright. So I cannot do that. What am I going to do here? Have the sepia in this other brand. Let's hope this stuff works. Man, I think that whole jug is toast. Alright, if you airbrush a lot, don't buy these size jugs, the super big ones. You're better off buying smaller ones. Unless you go through a lot of, I mean, I was going through a lot of this stuff, a lot. But things like 3/4 of the way full and it's all junked out. So that sucks. It's all clumpy. That ain't no good. Wasn't like that last time I tried to use it. Which that sucks. Hogs up the airbrush pretty good. Let's hope this other sepia works. If it does, we'll be in business. There we go. Now that's what we're looking for. You out of the way. Hey, so how we're going to do this here? You just take the bait, set her down since they're nice and dry. Go from the top. Make sure I'm in the camera here. You go from the top. You want to spray at an angle. Starts kind of bringing that together, as you can see. Versus that. You can see there's little spitties and spuddies and stuff. I need to get my regulators and stuff fixed on my airbrush. My compressor went out on me, so I'm using my old airbrush, and it's got a leak on it. So it likes to spitter and sputter on me. But anyways, so we do that, do one side, and we let it dry. We'll do the next, go down the line, let them dry. Yeah. This paint's wanting to clog on me. Usually with this stuff you don't need to use any thinners. Go down the line and we'll do all of these guys one by one. Hopefully my airbrush don't clog on me. With the airbrush, a lot of back and forth to keep that paint going, running down on the needle so the air can hit it so it can go. Kind of weird to get used to. Right. Clean your material off, that way it's not soaking through onto the bait. Make sure it's kind of dry. Take your time. Like I say, when it's wet outside, it's raining here in Sacramento. When it's wet, the paint doesn't like to dry as fast. If I set them down right at the same time. Big splitter. That ain't no good. Let that dry a little bit, then hit that again. Have a little splatter there out of the airbrush. Need to get new regulators for my line. Just got a little bit of a chunky in there. The airbrushing, the hardest part of airbrushing is keeping the airbrush clean. There we go. Now it's spraying right. It's kind of not spraying right there for a second. It sprays right, you can go faster. Like I said, laying down right. Underneath keeps getting in the way. Make sure I'm not doing that. You know, like there's little imperfections, like I accidentally messed up last time where the white kind of scrubbed a little bit, but I mean, it don't matter because, you know, in nature, things are not all exactly the same. Dry this guy off a little bit. It's my first day going live, guys. Bear with me. See, like this face right here, I actually Messed up the front just a little bit. Not really, just a little bit of the white right there kind of showing through. But that don't matter. You ever seen fish? They got a little bit of white in them too. You know, if I could just set one of these down the right way, I could do this faster. More paint. I have caught some really big fish on some of these baits. My PB is actually on one of my handmade baits. Hoping this year to toss these more. I'm going to be going out to the Delta on my kayak with my buddy Mike a lot. And I think I'm going to try to just stick to fishing my baits a lot if I can. But I think it'd be pretty cool to catch some big Delta bass on my baits. Alright, so what's the next step here? I gotta kind of wait for these ones to dry. Where's that one that got really wet? This one's pretty wet here. Just need to bring that down a little bit more. Go again, upside down, upside down. You don't have to put that stencil right back in the same exact spot because it just kind of blends it out. If something like that happens, it makes it easier. Now typically what I would do is wrap these completely with material. Now a lot of times you get the clip marks on the bottom. The clips will dig into the paint, all kinds of different things. So I'm doing that, and I'm just going to paint them on the sides. Then I'll come back on the heads. And just with that sepia. Kind of tone it out. And I'll come back with the stencil on the top. Once that one's dry. So I'll go back and I'll hit all the heads like that. That'll do is it'll give these sides a second to dry a little more also. Inside part too. Always get the inside part. A lot of people, they like to build their baits and then paint them. You can. I just like to do it like this. It's how I've done it. That way I can get in between the stuff for the paint jobs. Can't really get in there and get the detail going on the inside. It don't matter. These baits are flying through the water. The fish don't care. They're either going to eat it or they're not. Dudes like marling baits. I mean, he's proved it. That's another guy started out. Obviously, a lot of the builders that build start out watching marling. That dude took a block of wood, put hooks on it, and went and smacked fish on it. So straight up block of wood. So you don't have to have the fancy, you know, if the fish is going to eat it, they're going to eat it. So, don't have to look exactly perfect. They just got to be close. Go ahead and hit all of these pieces and parts while I'm waiting. Yeah, airbrush paint is some weird smelling stuff. The best smelling stuff that I've ever smelled, the sweetest smelling stuff is this Tamiya stuff. I don't know what they put in it, but it smells good. Kind of weird. But yeah, the sepias and these darker colors, man, they got, I don't know what they put in the pigments or whatever, but they stink. Brush is kind of clogging on me here. Come on. I hate my clogs. Sometimes you just gotta paint through it and it'll put it out. When you got a full cup of paint, you can't take the paint out to take the tip off to clean the thing. It's only hard part. I'll go back and do those ends later. Take that off. Sometimes we'll clean that tip off. Paint will get stuck on there. I could be using a thinner, but I don't use thinner. It takes too long. Don't need it. Man, this thing is just not spraying. Come on, dude. You can see those spots coming out of there. That's just clogging it. Come on, airbrush, keep going. There it goes. I think I got it out. Ooh, yeah, hopefully I can get out on some good water this year and fish these baits. Man, this thing is just sputting. Usually it'll pop out, but I'm gonna have to take this thing apart and get that out. Come on, man. Don't do this to me on the light. That's the other thing when you're painting in the summertime. The paint does dry on the tip a lot more sometimes. That's why I'm kind of wondering why it's doing it right now. Alright, I'm just going to clean this thing out and start over. I say, man, the hardest part of airbrushing is keeping the airbrush clean. Not easy, not fun. Always pull your needle out the front way. If you pull it out the back, you're going to pull all that gunk and stuff through your airbrush, and you don't want to do that. Careful with the needle. I freaking got myself in the hand today, and I was bleeding out as soon as I picked my airbrush up first thing today. Pretty funny. Yeah, we're about to get eight days of rain here in Sacramento, so all of our pond spots are going to be filling up. Definitely going to be filling up. Looks like I got it out. Got that little piece goes on the end and the thing gets clogged up. It gets clogged up. You can't paint. Nice and clean. So hope it flows for me. Man, just wanting to clog up every time. Got some reducer right here. I guess I can use some. I hate using this stuff. I feel like it, I don't know, inhibits the integrity of the paint. Makes it not adhere as good. I don't know, maybe I'm just overthinking it. I think thinning out paints isn't a good thing. But they make it for a reason. Man, this thing just doesn't want to unclog for me. There. Looks like that's all we needed to do is stop being stubborn. That's the other thing with the reducer. Sometimes I feel like the color gets dulled out, and then you try to spray a bunch on there, and you got to put too much liquid on because you got all this reducer. So I hate reducer. But that's just me. Everybody's different. Nothing fancy here, no fancy paint job. Maybe one of these next times I'll do just like a single fancy paint job for you guys. Wrap it all out and do scales and do that whole deal. Alright, what's next here? I got all the tops of all of these baits, looks like. This one. And that's how it's supposed to spray. Not sputter. Right. What is next to y'all? Doing these other sides, I guess. Yep. Hopefully I don't have to keep putting reducer in there because I don't like that. I just don't like it. Hey, get out of there. I learned over the years doing this, be a lot of imperfections in these things, but once you clear coat them at the end and you do all that stuff goes away and you don't notice it because there's so much going on the baits. I used to overthink all the imperfections. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Let's do what works for you. I'd rather it spray out slow and be thick than come out slow, or I mean thin with the reducer. Yeah, so a little bit of that reducer still in there. Makes it come out all wet. Even when you mix it really good, still wants to I think I just need to get some new reducer. What it is, it's just old. Yeah, pretty boring. Not the funnest thing to watch. I can do some better paint jobs for you guys in the future. And make it a little more interesting. This is just kind of repetitive over and over again. Same thing. Nothing special. My airbrush keeps messing up on me. And it's kind of pissed me off, to be honest. But we'll work through it. Alright, well we got those pretty much done, except for the one sides on them. What is the next step? We got a couple more steps on these. We'll come back, do the orange, and then I use a comb that I have. It's in one of my cups over here somewhere. Use a comb that I found out I think I found it at Tanzanite. I picked it up and I was like, hey, it was with my buddy Richard, and I was like, hey man, I'm gonna keep this comb and use it for the paint jobs. Anyways, I think I'm gonna end it up right here for you guys. Kind of boring. Thanks for watching. Maybe do some more intricate paint jobs for you guys next time. Something a little more cool. It's not the funnest thing to watch. Just got to put all these guys together. Once they're done being painted, then I'll put them on the spinner use the epoxy and do the deal. Anyways, Urban Ambassadors, thank you guys for watching. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, love you guys.